Hello everyone, I'm Thrush the Ivid Engine, and welcome to day 6 of the week of Thomas. I wanted to make this video because I wanted you guys to understand why I love Thomas so much, what parts of it I enjoy, and why it means so much to me. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, first off is the obvious bit. How did I get into Thomas? Well, when I was about 5 or 6 months old, my parents took me to my grandparents' house, and they had a box of toys, or more specifically, a box of wooden trains. And little old me, being a child, I wanted to play with them. And the first thing I picked up was a cheeky little tank engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and short stumpy bowler. A short stumpy bowlery. You know what I mean. I picked up a Thomas Wooden Railway model of Thomas. This exact one. The one that you have seen in all my videos previous that I have used the Wooden Railway was the first Thomas model I ever saw. And it was my introduction to the world of Thomas. And I didn't put him down. No, sorry, I did not put him down. And ever since then, my parents just let me play with talking trains with faces, and I'm still doing that to this day. So yeah, that's pretty much my introduction to Thomas. Because yeah, and then after that, they got me some of the DVD, as many as they could in terms of money. So thanks to that, I actually got at least the first 3 full seasons, Magic Railroad, Truckloads of Fun, which was an interesting, which always kept chaos on us because god damn, the DVD was annoying. Twin Trouble, to be Americanized, Twin Trouble and Other Stories, which I found out is an Australian DVD release only thing. So, yeah, that's a fun fact. But yeah, other than that, they gave me, the merch as well. The Lego Duplo. I think the only things that I was missing was Stanley, Henry, and Edward. I don't even think there's a Edward thing. All I do know is that I was missing Stanley. So yeah, well, sucks for me, I guess, but what can you do? And I also got some Taken Place. I'm surprised that I was able to get Metallic James. That's interesting, I guess. And so my love for Thomas kept growing, and now, I mean, you guys have already seen a lot of my videos, so don't really need to explain much else there. So now, I guess without any further ado, let's get into why I love Thomas. So, I guess I should go without saying that everything in terms of the show has been talked to death about. I mean, you've got all the music composed by Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, as well as the later editions by the Harshorn, I believe, father and son duo. Don't quote me on that. And it is just so good. Like, even in the hit era, where the music is, yes, it is repetitive and it doesn't feel as exciting as some of the CGI music or the Mike and Junior music, but there's still some really good pieces in there, like Henry's theme, Gordon's theme, Thomas's theme. They're all, like, pretty good themes. And yeah, I just, music makes a show and movies. If you don't have it, you're just gonna have a boring show. And so it is amazing that they managed to get this kind of music. I mean, hell, you've probably already seen, I have recreated some of the pieces. I mean, let's move on to the props. So, the props. Wow, were they committed. I mean, the fact that the only time a model was, like, damaged where they had to repair something, well, it only happened, like, once, is surprising. And I'm sure a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. And all of the models just look amazing. And the fact that, like, even into, like, the hit era where the writing was the characters themselves, like how they looked, they all were based on real engines. I mean, like, the fact that, like, everything else in the production still cared about how the engines looked is just goes to show that they are still true to their craft. I mean, even in the CGI era, where you could just, like, make the wackiest engines known to man that doesn't exist, they still took the liberty of getting real engines. I mean, like, look at Whiff. He could have been some whack job of a kit bash, yet he still looks so good as an Aerolite. I mean, the most randomest of classes to be put as a garbage engine, and yet he still looks like an actual engine, is so dedicated and respectable. And then, like, even the set designs themselves, granted more specifically in the classic era, but even in the hit era, where they were, like, introducing a new location, like Kelsthorpe Road Station, the airport, Great Waterton, the sets looked great. Especially in the classic era, series 1 to 7, where they go so far to add little details in the backdrop. Just goes to show that they cared for how the world of Sodor looked. And my god, they made it so beautiful. It is insane. I mean, even in the CGI era, they made, like, all these picturesque pieces that just look so good. But again, I have to agree with a lot of people. Nothing can compare to the classic era. Honestly, I don't really know if I can add, like, anything else to, like, why I've loved this show so much. Like, pretty much everyone else has, like, spoken to death about how they love this show. So, I guess at this point now is the time to get to a more serious point. It's pretty much why I'm still a part of this fandom, because you guys have all been amazing. And like, for those of you who don't know, I'm a voice actor, and like people have been, well, a few people have been coming out to me, for like to have my lend of my voice, and I thank you all for that. But if there was one person that I want to thank most of all, oh, three people actually. The first two being my parents, because they like they clearly didn't know, but they were interested in me having a passion for for something so silly. But the one person that kept me going, that allowed me to be more alive, like alive in general, and in he's pretty much what kept me in love with this show. This this is my granddad. He, back in his prime, when my mum was still little, he was a railway worker, and like the and yes, this is actually the same granddad of the grandparents that I got Thomas from. Um, and yeah, when he saw that I love trains as much as he did, he talked a lot about his time on the railway. Um, Talking about like what jobs he did, how to do those sorts of jobs, and we had a real connection together. Um, you're probably wondering why I'm using past tense for all this, because it's because my granddad passed away in 2017, um, due to cancer. I won't say which cancer, um, but yeah, it was something that was going to happen at some point. I just didn't realize it'd be at this point in time. Um, and honestly, as weird as this may sound, it was actually a good thing that he passed away in 2017, because I had started high school at that point, and I wanted to be a part of a school group. I wanted to connect with my peers, and I had to stop being childish, and I thought, not watching Thomas anymore, I grew out of it. But something throughout all of that, something just never felt right with me, like I was doing something wrong. Um, and when Granddad passed away, it made me realize that life life is worth living, and that I shouldn't follow any social norms to be like the cool kids. Like, you can be cool in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter how weird your interests are. It doesn't matter if you're hip with the cool kids. Just be yourself. Like, don't worry about what others are gonna say around you. You love what you love. If you love a TV show about a train with a face that talks, love it. Just love it. Appreciate it for what you love for it. And that was my takeaway. And when we got back from the funeral, I went to the TV. I opened up the Series 1 collection, put it in, played it, and when I heard those first few notes of the intro, I felt like me again. I felt whole again. Yes, I didn't fully feel whole at that point, knowing that my granddad was gone. But watching those episodes, watching these silly little trains go about their day, getting into hijinks, I felt happy. And I know that if you are feeling down, you can always go back and just watch the show that you had as a child. My name is Thoros the Iver Tenjin, and I love Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Thank you for watching.